Hello everyone, I've got a what should hopefully be quite interesting video for you here today. So if you're watching this, you're probably interested in lutes like I am, and I want to talk about different kinds and sizes of baroque lutes today. So the most typical kind of baroque lute you will see is the Hans Vrij style body, more of a Renaissance lute body with 13 courses and a bass rider, or just 11 courses and no rider. And there's many examples of how those sound, but I want to look at two slightly less common types of lutes with different geometry but similar materials of construction, and show you how they sound. So what I've got here is a swan neck lute, but more in an angelique form, that I built myself. It's a 14 course model, and what's important is that the materials for both these lutes I've got here are the same. So we've got a maple bowl, spruce top, woods from the same batch. This is a stained walnut fretboard. Okay, that's a smoked oak fretboard, the only difference. And again, a maple extension. Both lutes are theorbos, so with a large extension. But the big difference between them is this is a normal sized baroque lute, so 70 centimeter string length on the short strings and around 100 on the long basses. And it's a very shallow Edlinger type bowl. So it's not a semicircle on the back, but it's much more flattened out. And instead of the typical Renaissance early Baroque lute bracing with a J-bar here, I've got a fan bracing in here. And combined with the shallow bowl, that results in a very clear sound. It's quite trebly. And the treble response is great on this instrument, and the bass response is also not bad for a small instrument. I do find the middle courses to be a little bit muddy, but that's normal on a small lute. So this has now got strings and loaded now got basses, so they're a bit soft. I used to have those on the other lute too, but now I have copper wound acrylic strings on there to get a bit more volume out. So let's get the other lute and compare. Like I said, same materials, but this is a whole different beast. This is more of a monster. You can probably see already, it takes up much more of the frame. So this is a Jauck or Jauch style lute with a large triple extension. It's much deeper, and the body I used is actually a slightly scaled down small theorbo model. Got a single rose, but that's a bit smaller actually, but the same top wood, same barring pattern below, just scaled up to the bigger size. And the stop string length is much longer here, so it's around 78 centimeters, a bit more stop string length, which is on the higher end of the historical lutes we know of. And some players seem to be, and makers seem to be a little bit afraid of this size class, but I found in the D minor tuning it's very manageable, because there are very few stretches required in this tuning. And the only thing I noticed is I sometimes change tablatures a little bit in order to stretch across the strings a bit more instead of along the strings, because down here of course you cannot stretch very far. So with this big body and long string length, it's got a lot more volume than that other lute. I'm not sure how well it will come through in the video, but this lute can also be heard in a small group setting, even with some modern guitars and a violin I've played with, and it seems to work fine. Especially these low basses have a lot of power behind them. But the treble response actually seems to be a bit weaker than the other instruments, which is not super strange maybe, because the resonant frequency of this body is so much different. So I'll play the little opening again. So I missed a few bass notes there because it's different spacings on these instruments, but you get the idea. And at the end I will show you a comparison where I'll play a gavotte by David Kellner on both instruments, so you can see what the sound difference is like. But anyway, I hope this gives people some more reference material to decide what kind of lute you want or you want to make, because most makers don't have a bunch of them lying around. Most players don't have multiple baroque lutes. I didn't find many recordings of these larger kinds of lutes online, so I was just curious to find out, and I built one myself. I actually play this lute the most now out of these two, because it's louder, easier to play with other instruments, and the larger size is not that bothersome to me. The only difference I found is that I like a bit of a higher chair to sit with this really big round body. But all in all, it's not bad. So I hope this inspires you to maybe not be afraid of these big lutes, or maybe experiment with lutes with very shallow bodies if you like that tone. And I hope you learned something from this. Now let's get on to the comparison of the gavotte by David Kellner.